It's the Jack
and Cathy
Show.
Shit Show.
And there we go.
Yeah,
okay, that was, I think it. Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Hi. Okay, let's get rolling.
We have one of our 4 listeners with us today.
Yep.
We are in Austin, Texas, and we are sitting with my friend, my dear old friend. Not that you're old. I've just known you for a really freaking long time. Long time, but I haven't seen you in many years. Beth Lloyd. And thank you for being with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Very cool.
I hope that I'm not, going to be boring. I will try not to be.
Girl, you are not a boring human being. So you have amazing things going on. And
We'll just have one of those moments like in TV shows where the boo comes up, technical difficulties, switching to another program. Yeah, we'll know that in post. Key will be like, that was the worst. I'm like, just put a sign up. It says...
Just cut to commercial.
Commercial, right. I was on TV.
Let's get rid of this woman quick.
Oh my gosh. No.
Well, thanks for joining us, Beth. Take care. Have a nice afternoon. It's good seeing you. Good. And that was another episode.
No, I want to give a little backstory to Beth. Beth and I worked together in Milwaukee. We met first met, I don't know, 15 years ago. Is that a safe guess?
Probably.
Yeah. So
probably.
We worked together. You are a talented hair and makeup artist, and
well, thank you.
We
very
worked
much.
together a number of times in the Milwaukee area, and I don't know where else we may have worked together. If we worked in Chicago or we were, I don't know what, but
I think mostly just Milwaukee.
Yeah, mostly just Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
and then I heard you moved, and now here we are, sitting with you in Austin,
Weird.
Texas.
Yeah.
And I
10
think...
years ago.
I
Holy
know.
cow.
I know.
Well, and
10
you were
years
saying
ago
earlier
you
the
moved
last
here.
time you saw Cathy was in Sendix.
Yes,
right?
where I accosted you in Sendix, the grocery store. And you were like, ah!
I was pushing my cart, and she sneaked up behind me and scared the crap out of me.
That's how we met. She thought I was somebody
right.
else, though.
Yeah, and so... Fast forward to, you saw on Instagram that we were going to be in Austin, Texas, and
Yes.
you sent me a wonderful message saying, "Oh my gosh, I have an Airbnb now. Come stay with me. It'd be great to see you." And then we were like, "Will you be on our podcast?" And because we'd love to hear your story, and so much. With Jack and I starting this podcast, we can make it whatever the hell we want, and
So
because
great.
it's ours. But
Exactly.
it really is about people's stories of not just relationship stories, but in our mind, you have a great story of how you reinvented yourself, how you just said, I'm going to dump out my life here in Milwaukee, sell it, pack it up, and come to Austin and take those chances. And so we're sort of... Yeah, so let's have you kind of tell us a little of your background.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Yeah,
One of the things that we always talk about, because Cathy and I met each other after, not only after divorce, but after having other relationships, right? Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I said before I met Cathy was, man, I have challenges in all these relationships that aren't working. Oh, wait a minute, I'm the only one that's the common denominator. So if I want things to be different,
Right.
I got to change, right? And so I've got to be something that either I'm not, or I got to stop doing the bad things.
Well, that's awesome.
Right? And so that's what I thought of when we were getting together with you, is something had to click that if I want my life to be different, I'm the one that has to change it. I can't wait for someone to come up to me and say, hey, move down to Austin, right? I've got to take some initiative. So I was curious to know your story too.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, and I've reinvented myself many times.
Yeah.
This one was, we had, as you know, we had that beautiful historical farm. It was magical.
Yes, the Octagon barn you had, and you had horses there.
Yes.
Yes.
And
you and your daughter
peacocks
Scarlett,
and-
your
yes.
amazingly talented, gorgeous daughter Scarlett. Yeah.
And things started at that point starting to slow down a bit with work.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy shit, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, plus And I, not being stupid, I knew that my daughter was going to move away from home, and running that farm was very, even though it was a small hobby farm, I used to tuck point the stone on the barn. I mean, I learned to do so many things. I remember towards the end, we needed another bathroom before we put the house on the market. Yeah. So I did all the drywall, I did all the tile, I did everything. I had the plumbers come, but I did everything. I remember at one point I wanted a stained glass window. This is hilarious.
Because it wasn't enough of a challenge, Beth. Right. You had to add a stained glass window.
So I learned how to do lead piping.
Just one good YouTube video. I'm sure I'll have this.
I actually had the stained glass.
Okay.
But I cut a hole in a wall, and my daughter was like, "Mom, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, I can do this." So I put a stained glass window in. It was on an interior wall, and it looked great. And I did a good job. So I figured, I've done a million things. That was my 18th house, I think, that I had done work to.
Yes.
Anyway, to make a long story short, I realized that our time in Milwaukee was closing.
Yeah.
And Scarlett really did not like Milwaukee. And she's like, "Mom, there's really nothing here for me. I don't want to be here."
Yeah.
So she's one of those kids that just does tons and tons of research all the time. Mm-hmm. So she kept telling me, "We got to go to Austin. We have to go to Austin. Austin is amazing. And we have to be in the 78702 zip code."
Wow.
How the heck she figured that out? And she said, "I still don't know how I did that." She said, "I don't know."
Because we're in East Austin. We don't know Austin well, so we have some friends here, but So.
Yes, East Austin is, I'm sure you've heard Keep Austin Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
This is the weird part. We're in the weird part.
Yeah.
And when we first, so long story short, I had this guy come and buy my house. Okay, so this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I had restored this entire property, even the Octagon barn.
Wow.
I spent a small fortune on that place, but it was magical.
Yes.
Yeah, it was yours.
Yes.
And it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
So about 3 weeks before I put the house on the market, the basement flooded.
Oh, hello. Oh,
out
my
of
gosh.
nowhere. Like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
Had no idea. So we tuck pointed all of the brick and the stone in the basement.
Yeah.
We did it correctly.
Yeah.
Except for one thing.
Ruh-roh.
There was a kind of a built-in bookcase that, I should have pulled away from the wall. I didn't even think to do that. I mean, how stupid.
Yeah.
So we tuck pointed all of it. The day that we had a showing, the basement flooded again. And I'm like, what is going on? Anyway, to make a long story short, the guys didn't care. He brought his engineer, everything.
They loved the property. Yeah.
This place is amazing. Yeah. We want to buy it, but they lowballed me.
Okay.
And it was a cash offer.
Yeah.
And my realtor said, "You really ought to do it." And so I lost money on that.
Shit.
Oh, no.
I lost money on it. But I thought, okay, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they ended up bulldozing the house.
That's why they didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But they went through this whole show about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they bulldozed it.
Did they just put a huge house on the property? Then I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's kind of nice.
Okay.
But the house that was there, my house, was so, I don't know, it was really cute. But whatever.
Yeah.
But they ended up doing
yeah.
a stair. They just wanted the land.
They just wanted the land. They
And the
wanted
octagon barn.
And the barn.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
barn was on the National
Historic Register.
Oh, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's magnificent.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
but anyway, so we came to Austin for a visit.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have family in San Antonio, but so that's nice. I can visit my niece, and you know,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
So we decided to move to New Braunfels, which is about 55 miles south of here.
Okay.
Why? I don't know. Anyway,
So wait a minute. Your daughter does all this research, nails it down to the
right.
area code or zip code.
We couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't find
any
anything.
place.
So you figure
Got it.
we're here anyway.
Yeah.
Let's
You have
go
to land
someplace.
somewhere.
Got it.
Well,
You ended
then
up there.
also we had horses.
Oh,
we
so
had
you
to
need a
figure
place for
out
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's so much I could tell you, but I'll make it simple. So we ended up buying this place. I had 5 acres, but it was on Purgatory Road.
Did you
If that
finally
isn't a
decide that was a
forecasting.
sign?
Yeah.
Forecasting.
It was
What a terrible
weird.
name for a road.
It was weird.
Oh my goodness.
And anyway, so I redid that house too.
Okay.
Redid the house. At that time, rescued another horse
Wow.
because I found her 2 lots over. Someone had dumped her to starve to death.
Oh my gosh.
So I rescued her, and I didn't have my horses on the property. They were staying at a different farm.
Okay.
Anyway, so the lady came, and we took her, and Scarlett found the owner who dumped her, and I confronted her in person.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, I said, "Here's $10.
Yeah.
Give me a bill of sale."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did, and anyway, so she had a nice life for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
So you get this property, 55 miles away.
and I started working. I got accepted into the union, the film union.
Okay.
So every time that I drove, I had to drive like 80 miles one way to get to work. It
Yes.
was just crazy.
It was getting old.
It was getting old.
Yeah.
And also, we were in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we were out in the boonies.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, nah, we can't do this. We were there for a year. So Scarlett found this place.
That we're sitting in right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was really weird because the picture that they had was at the top, was the top half of the roof.
Oh.
That was it.
And you're like, is that the only good part?
What? Pretty much. So we came, and I put a bid in and lowballed them, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, darn it. So it took a little time for me to sell my place.
And this was 10 years ago, so that was
Yes.
2012 or 2013, somewhere.
Before
2013.
way before the craziness, but it was still getting
yeah.
crazy here.
Still
Yeah.
recovering from
Yeah.
the 09, 10,
everything, yeah.
11, like the market was coming back a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I got the offer on my house in New Braunfels, this place came up.
Okay.
So I gave him an offer, got it.
Okay.
So we closed, and then we moved in.
Yeah.
And holy crap.
And the shit show began.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Love it.
Oh
And,
my gosh.
I'm definitely not afraid of redoing things. and
No,
all
with
of
all that you've done with every house you've lived in,
But
I would think
this
not.
one was a challenge.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
We finally, this is actually a funny now story.
Yeah.
Not funny at the
Yes,
time.
yeah.
So there was horrible tile all over these beautiful floors.
Yeah.
We found out why. Actually, it was just in the living room area.
Okay.
And we found out why. We figured out after being in here that the woman who owned the place was a hoarder.
Okay.
And I mean not just a hoarder.
Oh, wow.
I mean you have to climb over things to get through.
Wow.
And the way we figured it out, this is kind of gross. I can't believe I'm telling you guys.
No one listens anyway, so it's just the three of us. And you. So, I mean, you're a listener.
But we were sitting in the living room one night, and Scarlett goes, "Oh my God, I just figured this out." Okay. We had taken the tile up, and there was a big piece of plywood.
Okay.
They had taken out some of the floorboards. And that day, she had removed the drywall on the front wall.
Scarlett had.
Yes.
Okay.
And we had seen like carpenter ant trails. We figured out, they're all gone, by the way.
Yeah.
We figured out that while she was living here, the carpenter ants had been eating the floor.
Get out.
And she didn't even know it. There was that much stuff on the floor.
Wow.
And you know, that takes years.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
So we had, we were both like, ew.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So anyway, this place has been a labor of love and hate.
And then some. Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah.
And now,
It's beautiful.
well, thank you. We love it.
Yeah.
But there's always,
There's always something.
right. And,
yeah.
and I'm okay with that. We
Yeah.
just want to be done. So,
Yeah.
and as we speak, Scarlett is tiling the bathroom in the cottage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the cottage,
If she wants some help, I'm really good at it, so.
oh my gosh, well, I'm going to tell her.
Yeah, I'd step in. I mean, if you guys want to continue on without me, I'll go do some work. And I'm serious. I would help do it.
Oh my God, she would love it.
True story. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night. I slept well because I didn't worry about that.
Good.
But I woke up in the middle of the night with my head popped up going, okay, cool. And I was going to start taking notes. It was like 2 o'clock. I just sat up going, all right, I've got to finish this today, this today, this today. And I realized I'm not at home of all the remodeling stuff we're doing.
Yes,
So my brain is in a place where I could help your daughter. That's
Oh
where
my
I get it.
gosh. Okay, well, you go out and have fun today.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I'm
the two of you can
put
go.
Jack to work.
yeah. Right.
I would, though. You know I
Just
would.
be in time for baseball tonight.
Yeah,
That's all
gotta
you have
leave
to
by
care
5
about.
o'clock.
So I love.
Sorry, I got off on a tangent.
No,
it's
it's
not
all
at all.
it's all good. But it makes so many questions pop into my head because if somebody is thinking about this big reinvention, how long would you say it took before you felt like, okay, this was a good move? Did you feel that right away, or did
No.
you? No, you were like, what did I do? What did I do?
Did you have that
What am
moment
I
of like,
doing?
oh shit, I just sold my house for a loss. I'm in the middle of nowhere in Austin.
Or
Like,
New
yeah. But
Braunfels.
did you have any feelings of pangs, of regret, or?
No, and I can't believe that I didn't.
Okay.
Because I try to be the eternal optimist.
Yes.
Even if I totally fuck up.
Yeah.
Could you watch
Well,
your
that's
language on this
really-
podcast?
I'm really
Will
sorry.
you fucking watch your language, for fuck's sake?
I'm saying that too because last night you swore once. You're like, I promise I won't do it on the podcast. And I'm like,
No, we actually encourage it.
yeah.
Well, I did. Actually, that's not true. Okay. One of my old friends, she's
Yes.
not old. Well, actually, yeah, she's old. She's like me. She lives in LA.
Yeah.
And she used to work with me when I used to do shows for Aveda.
Yes.
100 years ago in the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's big in the film industry.
Okay.
And when I told her that I was moving to Austin, she said, "Oh my God, my friend, and she does all this stuff, and you've got to contact
Yeah.
her and everything."
Yeah.
So I contacted her.
Yes.
We went out to lunch.
Yeah.
And I thought that, I'll be able to assist even if I'm not in the union yet. No, wrong.
Oh.
So I had to get into the union. So I ended up getting in because I had done quite a few commercials up in Milwaukee and all
Yes,
that. So
yes.
I could get in.
Yeah.
But then I spoke with her and she said, we're going through a really bad year this year. There's nothing happening.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah, what am I going to do for work?
I'm going to spend all of my savings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we started working on this house in New Braunfels and realizing that we had to do it so that we could resell it. Mm-hmm. And then this TV series called Revolution popped up.
Okay.
So she called me. You got to come, you got to work. So I get to the first day on this TV show. It was 100 degrees, and we were shooting outside. I am not good in the heat. Why in the hell
I hate to tell you, but you moved to Texas.
I know, like, what? What? So I'm on this TV show, and I really didn't know that much about the film industry. I was doing extras, which was fine.
Yeah.
So for this show, we had to rub, we call it movie dirt, into people's hair and make their hair look greasy. Yeah. And that's what I did all day long. Yeah. It was disgusting. And, I'm like, okay, this is weird. So, 5 o'clock rolls around. 6 o'clock rolls around, and I'm thinking, God, we got to be ending pretty soon.
No.
Not on film.
Not on film. It's different than print.
16-hour days, man. And then I had to drive 70 miles.
Right.
Just crazy. So I started working on this show. And one day we were working, they call it the stages, which is indoors. And so we're sitting, we had done everybody, and we're inside, and things are black. I mean, it is black in there, except for the set. So I'm sitting there, and I was exhausted, driving back and forth and working 16 hours, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing? Are you nuts? Yeah. Oh, no, I should be really grateful. And I was grateful.
Yeah, you had the two voices in your head.
Yes, like
yeah.
Anyway, so I'm sitting on my chair, and I fell asleep and fell on the floor.
Oh my God.
What? Oh my God. Anyway, the people that I worked with were hilarious. I never lived that one down. That was really funny.
Beth just tips over.
It's just like, out. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so that show ended.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I got a call from a department head, Nancy, who is just one of the funniest and most wonderful people I've met down here. Yeah. And she wanted me to be her key, and key is number 2. Okay. There's department head, there's key, and then there's assistant, and then there are extra. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I said, okay, I've never done it before, but if you don't mind, I'm up for anything. Yeah. So we worked on Robert Rodriguez, who's
amazing director.
It was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh my, yeah.
He worked us, man, 16-hour days for 5 months.
Oh my gosh.
And at that point...
Did you get one day off a week, or what was the...
No, we got 2 days. Well, okay, we call them fratter days.
Okay.
Fridays, the way it works, you start out at you have to be on set at 4 a.m. on Monday morning. Yeah. And through the week, you get later and later. And by Friday, you go in about 2 p.m. and you work through the night.
Oh, boy.
So by Saturday morning, when you get off, you go home and collapse. And then you get Sunday half of that off, and then I had to drive back up here. So
Okay.
Scarlett had found me a cheap hotel, and that's another story too,
Yeah.
which was hilarious. Oh God! So it was kind of a dump, but it was cheap, and so I thought, okay, it's fine. The clean bedding, clean room, it's fine.
Yeah.
So one night there was a shooting in the parking lot. Like what? What?
Are you when these little moments happen? Are you still having this like, what did I do? What did I do? What's happening? Is this my life? Like it's just all so new.
Or are you just flowing?
Or do you thrive on that too? Like tomorrow, every day is going to be different. Is that something that you sort of seek out for yourself?
It was a love-hate
Yeah.
thing. The thing that I hate about it is the getting up at 2 a.m. in the morning,
Yeah.
and then you have to drive an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm saying we're not driving into like downtown Austin. We're driving out into the boonies,
Yeah.
and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
And these truck drivers
Right.
are on your butt,
Yeah.
and you can't see because they're shining. Their lights
Yeah.
are shining. It's just like horrible.
Yeah.
And finally, you get there, and you're like, oh, okay, I made it. And then, you start to do your work.
Yeah.
But the women that I worked with were hilarious. So when you get there, it's really fun. But you're pooped. I mean, you are pooped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it started to change a bit because I just got really exhausted. After I did the 5 months on Dusk Till Dawn, I got off of that and I said, I'm 61 years old. I'm not working this hard ever again.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I get that.
I'm exhausted.
Yes. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I would, on Friday, after I'd finish, if I wasn't too tired, I would make the trek back to New Braunfels to see my daughter, who's been struggling with this house by herself in New Braunfels and out in the boondocks by herself. And, and if I couldn't, then I'd spend the night at the Sleazebag Hotel. And then it was ridiculous.
Yes. Yes.
Sunday, I'd have to leave there about 5 o'clock to make the trek back up here. Be in bed by 8 so I could get up.
No regrets moving to Texas. This finally feels like home to you, taking that risk.
It didn't feel like home.
Okay.
I don't really think that I even had time to think about that.
But now, how does it feel now?
So my life has been a series of moving.
Yes.
I've moved
Yes.
and lived everywhere, including Europe.
Yeah.
I have moved and moved and moved and moved and moved. It's funny, and this sounds very weird, but no place feels like home.
Oh, really?
You maybe have a little gypsy spirit in you.
Well,
that is.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. This is
dear
it.
God.
You're
This is-
staying.
this
You're
is it.
staying.
But
for now.
do you need to have something feel like home, or do you?
No, I mean, I feel very comfortable in my little world here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and for those of you who don't know, I'm talking to the microphone. It's all enclosed.
Yeah.
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 It's-
I
Yeah.
feel like this is my sanctuary.
It is
Yeah.
amazingly
Yeah.
secluded
Yes.
for how crowded it is around here. Yeah,
Yeah.
construction, homes,
Yeah. You've created an
commercial
oasis
buildings,
here.
and then yet there's just it's an oasis is a great way to say it.
Yeah,
Very
we're-
cool.
Yeah.
We're basically in downtown Austin.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yep.
So
it's
if
crazy.
you did you have friends at any point? Well, given your story of how often you moved,
Did you have friends at any
I was
point?
going to
That's
say
so rude.
I was going to ask if you had friends or family that thought you were crazy for packing up your life and moving again. But there probably probably like, oh yeah, Beth is moving again. Beth and Scarlett are going somewhere else because
have moved as well.
Yes, yeah. So you didn't have anyone saying, "What are you doing, huh? I can't
Not
believe you're doing that." Okay, yeah.
Not really. Another reason, and this might have been, I can't tell anymore if this was my own making in my head, why I left Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I started to feel a little bit of age discrimination.
Yeah.
In my field.
Yes. I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah.
And
it's a very young industry.
Right.
Especially if you're on the print side of modeling
Right.
and,
Well,
fashion.
The stupid thing
Yeah.
is that for as long as I've done hair, 50 years,
Yeah.
I can do anything.
Yes.
So tell me what you want.
Yes.
And I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I always thought, that's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not in front of the camera. What difference does it? But I started to feel that a bit.
Yeah.
More in Milwaukee, though. So do you
Yes.
think it was a
Not
regional
here.
thing, too? Okay. And why not here? That's curious to me.
Because it's film. And they appreciate
Experience.
skill level.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love to hear, but
Got
I
it.
love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They appreciate skill level. However, things have started to change a bit. And there's starting to get some people who are unsavory. I don't want to, I'm not bashing anybody. Just like snarky.
Oh, okay.
I don't want
Like
to
little
work with
petty
people like
petty
that.
stuff. No, the older I get, the less tolerance I have for
I have
that
no
stuff.
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what I want to do? I want to go to work. I want to do my job. And I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a fun job.
Yeah.
Well, I think getting older, we do focus, like our focus changes, right? So
Yes.
so you get to that point where you really have to control. I was going to say control your environment, but I think we get pickier as to what we're willing to tolerate.
Yes.
Especially in a work situation, like if
Yeah.
you're creating it, you're cultivating your world in a way that makes sense for you now.
Right.
Instead of like just playing the game because we're in this survival mode. And that's really
Exactly.
great
Yeah.
to have you be able to say that and get to this place. And you clearly have worked your ass off to get there. So do you
Yes, I
have advice for anybody who is, getting back to our idea of reinvention, because it is such I'm sure so many people think about doing it and they're scared to take the risk. Is there do you have advice for anyone that is going to
You
think
just
about
gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know what? Can you fail? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that scary?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to do it.
Yeah.
I've always been, even my friends from 40 years ago
Yeah.
said to me, you have never been one to sit on your butt.
Yeah.
If you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
And I have.
Yes.
I even moved to London.
Yes.
And, I had an incredibly successful career there.
Yeah.
Was I scared? Hell yes, I was scared. But
Yeah.
I just said, nobody's going to do this stuff for me. I got to do it myself. I
Right.
think I may take after my dad in that respect.
Yeah.
But, so as far as the film industry goes now, I will still, they call it day playing.
Yeah.
They always have these corny words for, it's a union thing.
Yeah.
If you go and, somebody will call you and say, hey, you want to come? We've got, 75 extras. You want to come and work today?
Yeah.
Great. I don't want a department head anymore.
Yeah.
I've done it twice.
Yeah. You don't want 2 a.m.,
You know what?
4 a.m.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
What's a
Yep.
department head?
That's where your lead on there
hair,
and you
meet
carry
with
the
director, the producer, you design all the hair, you do. And I loved it, but it's
super
too
creative,
much pressure.
great, huge amount of responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like just being a manager of a sales team as opposed to being a producer?
Manager of a sales team
Meaning,
versus...
like
Yeah,
if you
kind
run a real estate company, you're in charge of all these different agents and
Yeah.
make sure everyone's moving, or you're just the agent. Meaning, you started your career as a producer.
You're in charge
You're
of
in
all the
charge.
Yeah,
agents.
so what you want to lean
Yeah.
back into is being a producer.
Yeah.
You want to just, hey, just give me
Right.
a direction, tell me to shave someone's head for a military scene. I'd like that better than
Yeah.
trying to coordinate everything. Gotcha.
So my last film was last year, and it was another Robert Rodriguez movie with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I was key. So I
Yes.
was number 2.
Yes.
Number 2 is great.
Yeah.
Number 1 is not so. It's not that it's not so great.
You've done it.
It comes.
Yeah.
It's a package
It's
deal.
too
It
much
comes
You've
with a
experienced it,
great-
you know what you
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
And I don't want to do it. It's,
Yeah.
and they don't make that much more money. So
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah.
But isn't that another part of what we're talking about here? I mean, the reinvention isn't just picking up and moving someplace. It's again, we talked about it at the very beginning of this podcast when you say there's one common denominator. My happiness is dictated by what I decide I'm going to do.
Exactly.
And so you acknowledging that I only want to do this now, and
Yeah.
and then you're going to take the rewards and risks with that decision, right? Because every decision has a reward or risk. If you become the head or the lead,
Right.
your time then sounds like it's going to get crunched. You're not going to be happy, but maybe you'll have other things. And so by taking key
Right.
role or a less in
Well, you
leadership
still-
role,
you're-
you're still busy, but you're not assuming all this stuff. There's a risk with that potentially, but there's other rewards. And that's what
And
you're
it's
you're weighing, right?
Not quite so stressful.
Right. So you'd rather have
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right, than some other rewards that might come with it because you like the rewards of not having that stress.
Right.
Yeah. How do you
Well-
come to that, though? I mean, do you just, like Cathy was asking, is it a click moment for you? I just know for me, people have asked similar questions. How did you decide to do X? And I went, well, I didn't put it down on a sheet of paper and plan it out. I just went, let's do this.
Well, I'll tell you.
Is that more you?
It was my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
And this actually, it's really funny, and I'm so stupid. So so I'm 68,
Yeah.
and, I never really, I never really thought that people exaggerated on Instagram. Stupid me.
Do you see how handsome I am on that platform?
I do.
The filters I use? It's amazing.
Well, and I'm not saying that I wasn't talking
No,
about you
I am.
guys.
Jack walks around with a ring light everywhere.
Everywhere
He's got a ring light everywhere he goes.
Well, you have to put your best foot forward.
I know. No doubt.
But so I remember I had worked with this horrible woman. Oh my God, horrible. And she was key makeup on a TV series, and I was in the trailer. I was key hair, and she was just a lunatic.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where we would just laugh because she was so nuts.
Yeah.
So we finished that series. Time for season 2, they called me. And they said, would you be interested in being head of the department for hair? And I said, well, I guess that depends who
Is head of
is head of
makeup.
makeup. And they told me, and I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And they said, really? And I said, she's a freaking nut job.
Yeah.
And I said, I feel that it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
You should know that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hiring this woman and everybody gives her a pass. I'm not giving her a pass. So from that moment on, every single person that they called spilled the beans.
Wow.
She's cruel and horrible and was just an awful human being.
Oh my.
And so when they decided to pick department head, they didn't pick me.
Okay.
Now I'm like, oh dear God, who cares?
Yeah.
But at that moment, I was like,
Oh,
my
shit.
God.
What did I do?
You were devastated.
I was devastated.
Yes.
I didn't regret spilling the beans about her.
Right,
no,
right.
but
Because
you
you were
were
being
maybe hopeful it would go a
but-
different direction,
But
right?
I recommended her assistant and said, if you want the person who's really talented, you need to, anyway. So she is now working all over the place. She's doing great. And good for her.
Yeah.
And anyway, so Scarlett says to me, Mom, how old was I? 65?
Yeah.
60, I don't know, 64. She said, what? Are you crazy? You're heading toward retirement.
Yeah.
You're not trying to prove yourself and build your portfolio. My God, you've done more than anybody you know around here.
Yeah.
Who freaking cares?
Yeah.
And
That's
I was
great
like,
that she had.
Bing!
She gave you that perspective and support.
Yeah.
And,
Because I was really down on myself.
Yeah, and that, just to touch on that idea, we've mentioned Scarlett, your daughter, and I would imagine, and know this myself too, that when you're embarking on such a huge reinvention and a huge change and just dumping everything out, having a support system undoubtedly helps.
Yeah,
For
right?
sure.
She's been
And I can see
amazing.
that you and Scarlett, you have each other, whatever. I mean, you currently live in the same space, but even if you didn't, you have that support.
Yes.
And what a huge part of embarking on this, to have at least someone saying, go girl, I gotcha.
She left for 2 years.
Okay.
She moved to Puerto Rico.
Wow.
And she started working in the Bitcoin community down there.
Oh,
and
wow.
She was working for Brock Pierce.
Oh, wow.
And she was there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And long story short, she ended up then working for a different person, and she couldn't take it.
Yeah.
This guy was cuckoo. And so she ended up coming back home, and then she went to school for microblading, and she really likes it.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
She has her own business doing that, and then she's helping me with, now my new job, the Airbnb. I still am doing commercials, which is great.
Yeah.
I love commercials. I actually did one last week.
Well, with
I'm
the
doing one
commercial
next week.
work, there's a defined beginning and a defined end, and it tends not to be all-nighters.
Exactly.
Not to say that sometimes I did an all-nighter because we shot in a store.
Yes.
And you have to shoot while there are no patrons in the store, and that is when it's closed, and so that's the middle of the night.
Done those,
yes, those are brutal.
Yeah.
Those are brutal, but I love it, and certainly if anybody is coming to Austin looking for an Airbnb, we'll add your link in.
Oh, that
in
would be
this,
so
and
great.
Oh, yeah.
we'll
Thank you.
spread the word, because
For sure.
what you and Scarlett
Because of the
have
6
created
listeners
here,
we have,
I
if
know,
one of them
they
comes
might
down
come
here.
and visit.
So the networking we have for you, Beth, is unreal.
You guys have curated.
You'll be booked the next 2 years.
2 days.
2 minutes.
You are going to have 2 solid bookings. Sure, that's all you need.
Yep.
But no, you guys
So
have
funny.
curated a really, really great
It's gorgeous.
place here, and I
Thank
know
you.
you are continuing with projects. So anything we can do to support that, and I
Oh, thank
love
you.
this place.
Well,
Jack,
and
I'm
having-
telling you, you're doing
Yeah.
No, I'm not
work
kidding.
today.
Having having done this myself for several years, and Cathy and I are embarking it. It is.
It's hard.
It's hard, and it's funny you just said that, because there was one morning when we had. I didn't want to get any permits at all, because I can do most of the work.
Right, exactly.
And Cathy, being a real estate agent, said, when we sell this, it's better to have all that permitted stuff
Right.
behind the work, right?
Yeah, it's part of our reputation with everything, and in the community we live in Whitefish Bay,
Right.
Wisconsin.
If we were to stay in the house ourselves
Yeah.
for a number of years, like, this is our house, I'm not getting a permit, because
Right.
I can fix it and change it along the way.
Exactly.
But to sell it, you want to have that back. Anyway, one night, we had electrical coming to do we had to get all the studs cleaned out, and this walls we had knocked down and everything. And so we had to get everything down to the studs,
Right.
floor, everything. So we had to get down to the everything had to be done.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and
It's
where
a
I'm
lot.
going with
The
this is that
demo
Yeah.
they were
is-
coming the next morning.
Oh my God.
So they're going to be there,
Wow.
ready? They're going to be there at 6. They said we're going to be there at 6 in the
Holy
morning.
smokes. Wow.
And it is 10 o'clock, and we still have a third of the room to tear apart. So we got to get it not only down from the walls, so the ceilings had to come down, everything.
Was it plaster and
It
lab?
was all,
No,
not the
it
lab.
wasn't
It
lab.
wasn't,
No,
but it was
it's a
plaster.
19
But it was, oh.
50s
Yeah, and some of it
house.
had chicken wire in it. So I went through
my
about 10
gosh,
blades of
wow.
my Sawzall, easily, if not more than that.
Wow.
But anyway, where I'm going with it is I remember it was 1 o'clock, or it was 10 o'clock, and Cathy's like, let's just call it. Right? Remember you said that maybe we should just call it and we'll apologize and we'll reschedule. Well, no, you kind of did. You were like, it's getting late. No, I'm not in a bad way. But we were both kind of getting to this place of,
Yeah, you were
and then
we were pooped.
yeah, and then we looked at one another and said, all right, we got to plow through. Like we took this deep breath
Yeah.
and we took all the garbage that was there, took it outside and went, all right, let's get this rest done. And so we go to bed at 1:30 in the morning, right? And 5 o'clock, that doorbell rings, or 6, the doorbell rings. And then
Wow, I
we
can't believe they came
Oh,
before
yeah.
like
Oh, no.
9 o'clock.
These guys are right on time. And so where I'm going with this long story is that there were so many moments where it was exhausting,
Yeah.
and I had a difficult time seeing it being done. And Cathy kept saying, isn't it going to be nice? Isn't it going to be great? Isn't it going to be cool? And while I was in it, I was just going, I can't do this anymore, right? I had that moment of this is exhausting and we're not having as much fun as I wanted us to have. But now that it's done, which
You
I'm sure
love it.
you feel when you walk in here,
Yes.
now that it's done, it's holy shit, this was great. So I
Well,
love that
yeah.
you've done it, and I know what it means to do all this work. And so hats off to you and your daughter for sticking through with it. Everything looks phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's charming as hell.
Scarlett, I mean,
Yeah.
she's unbelievable. I mean, she's now on her second all-nighter.
Yeah, you were
She's
saying that.
working
on the-
yesterday for like 3 hours,
Wow.
and then she's back at it. She's
Wow.
like, I have to finish this tile.
Well, and that can be what drives you as you get to the end of your wick and you're like, this needs to be done. So
Yeah.
you're going to push yourself to the finish
Yeah.
line, like the
Right.
story you just told.
Yep.
Because you need to be to the
yeah.
freaking finish line. So that's good. Hey, when you've listened to our previous podcast, have you heard us talk about the Gottmans and the question we ask at the end of our podcasts? Have you?
I don't
have you,
remember that.
So, have you heard of the Gottmans?
no.
So they are a
I'm
husband
sorry.
and wife team, and they are psychiatrists, psychologists,
Yeah, and they're also
authors,
PhDs.
and
Have their
their
own
whole
podcast,
lives have been about studying relationships.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
so-
should probably know about them.
It's
They're great because they say
really
that they can
brilliant.
identify within 6 minutes whether or not a couple's going to make it
Wow.
that fast, just by how well they listen to one another. And
How they listen, how they respond to each
how they
other, how they
respect
cut
one
each
another,
other off when
how they
they're
cut each other off when they're talking, how one needs to be on the camera all the time versus the other.
One has a face for radio.
You do not. Stop talking about yourself that way. You're beautiful.
Oh golly.
You weren't a model because of your voice. Let's be honest.
Actually, that was part of her deal.
No, I
She
know it was. You're gonna
know,
laugh. Someone just wrote her.
commercials.
We just did a voiceover type thing for our business, which is Cathy talking behind it. Swear to God, I said this to her. She's reading it like she was doing a commercial for like a
Used cars
dishwasher
sales?
pod. She's reading it like this. I know it's cold outside, but don't let that disturb you from trying to get your house ready for sale. She's reading it like that, and I'm like, Kath, can we back off the flex fit stuff? And I said, I want you to just like talk like this. I know the weather outside. And sure as shit, someone watched it. I hope Danielle's actually listening. Sent us a Instagram message this morning going, oh my God, I could listen to your voice all the
I
time.
actually saw that, and it was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
It's
see,
funny.
I do have a face for radio because I'm behind the scenes doing all the
Yes.
editing. So anyway,
But yeah, getting back to it.
The
So
Gottmans.
the Gottmans have created this app where it is a series of questions under different topics for couples to use that they can just keep engaging with each other, discovering about each other, Also
Mm-hmm.
probably dealing with issues too. So we find this,
You okay with that
depending
one?
on our guests.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
no, are you okay with that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. But they're just kind of meant to, I don't know, just create interesting conversations. So we sort of started ending our podcast with
because
this,
when we first did the podcast, we wanted to, the platform was us getting to know one another too in front of everybody. The whole goal of this podcast is not for us to be therapists. It's not for us to give advice.
Let's clarify that we are
It is,
not.
it's not even close.
Any decisions you make after listening to
We
this
have a disclaimer
are not
that
our
says
fault.
all the views presented herein, blah, blah, blah. So we do it more as, if you want to watch our lives and pay attention basically once a week to what we're doing, and from that you get some, like talking to you about picking up and going to Austin, just do it, right? You've never been one to sit on your butt. If someone hears that and goes, I was listening to their podcast and now I'm motivated, great, then we've done our job. And so at the end of every podcast, we ask each other a question.
That's great.
Right? So, and sometimes they're deep end of the pool, sometimes they're lighthearted. So we'd like to do that with guests then as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally lighthearted.
So,
So this is
here's our question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
How much of a discount are you going to give us on? Okay, is that not what you saw
I
there?
think she already gave us
Okay,
one.
just
actually.
kidding.
I think we got the friends and family.
And when do you bring in breakfast?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well,
no,
I do have a bag of Cheetos.
yeah,
over there.
yeah.
I ate the sun
Here's
chips
my
last night.
part B to that. Is there anything more?
Cheetos goes with coffee.
Kathy, you said this was an Airbnb.
I know. I know.
Okay, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so here's your question. What's something small that always brightens your day?
Timmy, my Shih Tzu.
Oh,
He's hilarious.
Where's Timmy?
Tim's next door.
Oh,
He's the funniest art. Right now, he looks like a ragamuffin. He needs to be groomed. I'm taking him Sunday.
that's great.
He is the most hilarious dog I've ever had in my life. I would say my
love that.
animals
Animals.
brighten my day.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
You talked about that quite a bit last night with
I'm
the
a
horses.
huge animal lover.
yes.
I rescue everything and make sure they have food. The kitties in the neighborhood all come here at night.
Yes,
And
yes.
they all eat, you know. And
I
I've
love
rescued-
that, Beth.
Oh my God, I've fixed like 30 cats in this
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yeah, you said that last night, yeah, I
Animals are good for the soul.
Yes.
They're and keeping your spirits up and grounding, and they love you no matter what.
Yes.
Except for the little asshole animals, but you still love on them anyway. Because sometimes they can be little assholes, right?
Those
But
rabbits
you
and
still
squirrels
take care of
gotta
them,
find a different
and-
yard to play in. They
The
destroyed,
bunnies. The
destroyed our
bunnies.
garden.
Yeah, but no, I love that. That's
That's
fantastic.
awesome. I
my
can see
daughter
that, yeah.
too.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yes.
Is
Fills your soul.
she tiny in stature then?
She
No,
is.
I'm joking because it says something small.
She is.
Is she really?
She's 5'3".
Oh, okay. My God, that's my mom's height. That's so funny.
But a warrior, obviously.
Yeah,
as
no
are you.
doubt.
Definitely
I
not.
definitely look at you and have always looked at you as a warrior woman. I mean, I
Oh my
just have
gosh,
always
thank
thought you are such a strong, creative, smart. I love you. Definitely have a fearlessness about you.
You can tell.
So
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you can
absolutely.
tell.
Sometimes it's stupid.
Who
Yeah.
cares? But that's the beauty
Well,
of it.
but somewhere in there, if you think, gosh, that was a stupid move, there's something trusting in the universe that you must have, that you're always going to persevere. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. I actually have thought that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like there's always something more.
Yes.
Ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Now I'm to the point where I don't really want any more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right?
okay.
Just, you know.
No
I'm
doubt.
okay.
No doubt. We get that.
Yeah.
You know, he's 57. I'm about to be 57, and you look at your future differently, and you
Yes.
prioritize things in a very different way. And I'm so glad to be at this place in life. So
What about you?
Absolutely.
What's something,
All right,
small that
something
always brightens your
small that
day? And
always
do not say
brightens-
something inappropriate about my manliness.
oh baby, that ain't small.
Oh, you're such a good liar.
Did
Why
I
are
do
you
that
winking?
right?
I saw the wink. It's on camera. It's not
no
even
one
funny.
saw. Did I deliver that correctly?
It's on camera. For those of you not watching the video, Kathy's got something in her eye.
Right. I because you and I, Jack Honer, are together all the time, and Jack always wakes up earlier than I do, and so he'll, be downstairs for 2 hours, and he'll always come up.
I was up this morning at 5:30.
And
always,
wide awake. Yeah.
He'll always come up at a time when he feels I should be getting up.
You've had enough sleep.
You're sleeping still, but
I'm bored.
Right. I need my friend to be awake now. He'll bring me coffee or my matcha, or just come up and give me a squeeze and a morning kiss. And
I'm trying to have it lead to something. So
yes, I know you have ulterior motives there.
No, I do like just bringing you the coffee or matcha.
And that makes that. That's
well, and to
a wonderful way
to be fair, I haven't done that in a while, and you now text me I'm up, and so I'll come up with something. So
I have.
She'll text me I'm up because she probably knows I'm going. Where is she?
I'm awake. I want my coffee.
Well, thank you. That was nice.
Yes,
Thank you.
And you?
Well, I feel now obliged to say something about you.
You are not obliged.
But that's what the Gottmans would say not to do, right?
Yeah, you're not obliged.
The Gottmans would actually say just because someone says one thing, you don't have to reciprocate the same way.
It would be inauthentic if you had something else in mind.
Truly what the small thing that always brightens my day is music. So if I hear, or even just even I just play a song for 5 minutes of my own and the guitar, the day will change instantly. So music for me.
Great.
Yeah, music for me is probably pets for you and me for you. Like that? That was
Very good.
That was good. No,
All
it's
right.
music. So anyway, we have, as we end every episode, you have to look at the camera and just say peace. So that's what we do. Peace.
Peace out.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
That was awesome.
Thank you. How fun.
Jack and Cathy Shit Show outro take 652.
Start off laughing. You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Cathy Shit Show.
Our senior producers are me.
Hey, and me,
This episode was produced, engineered, and mixed by
the amazing Key Honar.
Email your questions, comments, or interesting relationship stories to jackandcathyshitshow@gmail.com. That is Cathy with a C.
Be sure to follow and like our marvelous shit show on Instagram and TikTok at Jack and Cathy Shit Show. Apparently, liking and following is a thing.
It is?
Yeah.
This episode was produced by Pint Productions 2022. Point!